Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
And this is going to be our Kyushu Banzuke prediction episode. Never mind, I shouldn't read so closely off of the outline. This is our Kyushu Banzuke. No, what it is this is our Kyushu Banzuke review episode, and what's noted on the outline is mentioned the Kyushu Banzuke prediction episode. So hey, everybody, if you haven't checked out that episode, do that before listening to this one. Also, we're planning on recording our Kyushu Basho preview next Thursday-ish, and that should be out late next week.
Saturday or Sunday, if we,
I mean, maybe like the Monday or Tuesday after.
Yeah, who knows?
We'll really nail who's entering the tournament and how they're looking, how we think they're going to look at the beginning of the tournament.
Day 1,
if we do it
2,
like that.
3,
yeah.
4. Anyways, though, Ryan and I both had a chili cook-off at work today. So
Different works,
yep. But both had chili cook-offs. So why don't we get this podcast moving before our bowels do?
Yeah, because I am definitely in the doldrums with how much chili I ate, because there's 7 different varieties, and we needed to judge which one was the best. And by God, I took that job seriously.
I just ate a lot of chili, and I shouldn't have.
Hey, look, a Banzuke.
Hey, how about that?
All right, so let's break down how I did, and most importantly, where everybody did actually end up. So at Yokozuna, on the east side, we have Kakuryu, and on the west side, we have Hakuho, as I predicted, as everybody would predict. At Ozeki, the east 1 Ozeki is going to be Goeido, the west 1 Ozeki is going to be Takayasu, and the east 2 Ozeki is going to be Takakeisho, re-debuting as Ozeki.
And Takayasu is above Takakeisho just because he's been at Ozeki already. Takakeisho coming in just gets the lowest Ozeki slot.
Yeah, whenever you're promoted from Sekiwake to Ozeki, you're always the lowest ranked Ozeki, unless 2 happen to do it in the same tournament. Don't know if that's ever happened, but obviously one would have to be ranked above the other.
I'm pretty sure that has happened. I think I came across that in a history episode, but
we'll look it up later.
Regardless, this is the only way that Takayasu was not going to be the bottom Ozeki.
Yes, as Takayasu sat out the entire previous tournament to nurse an elbow injury that he received in Nagoya.
And to intentionally break my heart.
Yes. And we are still sitting at only 3 Ozeki, despite Takakeisho being promoted, because we had Tochinoshin being demoted again to Sekiwake. So at Sekiwake, on the east side, we have the reigning, defending, undisputed Yusho champion, Mitakeyumi. And on the west side, we have the aforementioned Tochinoshin, because if an Ozeki is demoted, they are automatically the lowest ranked Sekiwake. And if we continue our current pattern for Sekiwake this year, the west slot in the Hatsu... Yes, Hatsu's the first one. I still very much mistake Hatsu and Haru. But in Hatsu, we could very well see Takayasu as Sekiwake West in the next Basho.
This is this Banzuke. Let's talk about this one.
All I'm saying is 3 out of the last 4 tournaments, we've had a demoted Ozeki. So I see no reason why we can't make it 4 out of 5.
I can see reason.
I mean, with his elbow, though. We'll get into that in the preview episode next week. Tune in. At Komusubi... You dork. So we do only have 2 Sekiwake. Abi or Endo, despite both having winning records, did not do enough in the eyes of the Banzuke committee to be promoted up to Sekiwake. So at Komusubi East 1, that's right, Komusubi East 1.
Ooh.
We have Abi, who is getting a snub of the Banzuke candidate just because, I mean, he had a 9-6 record and he's not getting promoted up to Sekiwake. It's a very weak snub of the Banzuke candidate. We don't have a whole lot on this Banzuke, mostly because he only won a match 7 times, despite having a 9-6 record. There was one match where he lost initially to Tochinoshin, but upon further review, Tochinoshin pulled Abi's hair, so that decision was reversed, and then Hakuho was Fusen for Abi's match against him, so Abi got the walkover win there.
That is a very, very weak endorsement for a snub of the Banzuke award.
Yeah. That's about the shape of this Banzuke. a lot of luck of the Banzuke candidates on this one, let me tell you that. And at Komusubi West 1, we have Endo, and so Endo, he was only 8-7 at Komusubi West. Not enough to jump over Abi. Abi had the better record technically, and if they're not going to promote Abi to Sekiwake, why would they promote Endo to Sekiwake? And so that ends like the part of the Banzuke that everybody could have easily predicted and got done right. And this is where my Banzuke begins to kind of fall apart a little bit. So we can look at this Banzuke in two different ways. This was either my best prediction ever, or it was one of my worsts. So if you do the scoring like the way we do it, where basically it just matters what order you have the rikishi in, it doesn't matter what rank you have them. As long as you have them in the right order, I'm going to freaking nail this Banzuke, because the order of the rikishi that I have them in is very, very good. But if you're actually looking at what rank they are, because of what happened at the Komusubi rank, which we'll get to in a second, I'm off by about a half rank on just about everybody. So even though we get down to guys like Daisho and Okinoumi and Miyogiryu and Meisei, I have them in the right order, but they're not necessarily at the rank that I thought they would be, if that makes sense.
Oh, I was on my phone.
So let's get to why that happened. So at Komusubi East 2, we have Hokuto Fuji, which I predicted that we would have a third Komusubi. As you remember, after you all just went back and listened to our Banzuke prediction episode, it was very difficult for me to figure out what they were going to do with the Komusubi rank. I think most people figured that they were just going to keep the 2 Komusubi, and tough luck for Hokuto Fuji with the 9-6 record at Maegashira 1 East. I was pretty sure they were going to promote him. Did not think that they were also going to promote Asanoyama, despite the fact that I kind of kicked that idea around. I didn't like it because of how much it over-promoted people at the bottom and mid Banzuke, and so we're going to see a lot of that as we go through the Banzuke. But at Komusubi West 2, we have Asanoyama making his Sanyaku debut, and this is a career high rank for Asanoyama, as your 4th Komusubi, and this is the first time we have more than 2 Komusubi since 2006, so the first time in 13 years.
Yikes.
Yeah. So since Hokuto Fuji had that 9-6 record from the top Maegashira rank, and no Maegashira 1 East with the 9-6 record has ever been denied a promotion to the Sanyaku ranks, at least since like the 1940s, they created this spot. And since Maegashira 9-6 since 9-6 record from Maegashira 1 is good enough to force open a new Komusubi slot, why not open up one for a Maegashira 2 that had a 10-5 record? Why not?
Yeah, I think this is a great one for us to learn more about how the Banzuke committee works, because we were thinking like, well, if there's an odd number of Ozekis, maybe they would have an odd number of Komusubi to, even it out, or, maybe there's maybe you want to try and keep the same number on the East as on the West. These were all things that we had some guesses on, but weren't really certain where they would go with it.
Yeah, I didn't really take into account evening the number of people in the Sanyaku ranks and determining how many I thought were going to be jumped up. If we had one come up, it would have been a Komusubi West 2. We wouldn't have had a Komusubi East 2, just so that we did have the sides even. Yeah. Making sure that we had an even number in the Sanyaku ranks didn't really affect it. What I mostly based it on was I didn't think that they were going to break precedent and not give Hokuto Fuji a rise into the Sanyaku ranks, despite him technically not really jumping at all anyways.
Yeah.
He's at the same exact spot
it's
in
just
the
what
Banzuke.
you call that spot.
Yeah, it's just what they call that spot. And then what happened behind Hokuto Fuji and Asanoyama if they jumped him up, like the chaos that would cause in the Banzuke. I thought that was too much chaos that they wouldn't do that, but obviously this Banzuke committee loves chaos. Also, I do have a bit of a bone to pick because I don't know why they have Hokuto Fuji ranked ahead of Asanoyama, since it would make sense for Asanoyama to jump ahead of Hokuto Fuji since he had a better record at just one rank down below. Because if we, just a couple of bashos ago, we had Endo, who was a Maegashira 2, jumped ahead of Hokuto Fuji to take that Komusubi slot, which forced Hokuto Fuji into that Maegashira 1 East when Hokuto Fuji had a 9-6 record, and he could have taken that Komusubi slot, but because Endo had that 10-5 record, which was better, he jumped ahead of Hokuto Fuji. So I don't know why Asanoyama isn't your Komusubi 2 East, and Hokuto Fuji is your Komusubi 2 West.
It could just be something, maybe they're taking into account, like, qualitative analysis of, like, how well each guy did. Like, if, maybe Hokuto Fuji showed off better individual matches, even if his total didn't come up to the same number as Asanoyama.
It could be. Maybe they were super impressed with him ending 8-0 after a 1-6 start to get to the 9-6 record in the first place. So, yeah, we now have a total of, 11 guys in the Sanyaku ranks? Yeah, 11 guys.
That's not enough. We need more.
Well, if everybody has a winning record again, and let's say like Daisho gets a 12-3 record from Maegashira 1 East, you'll get
Ryan.
more. Well, yeah, that's never going to happen, obviously. But so I haven't missed anybody yet. Actually, no, I did miss. No, I didn't. Never mind. I did have Hokuto Fuji and Asanoyama in the correct order because I did not have Asanoyama jumping up to Komusubi. So in my prediction, I had Asanoyama as your Maegashira 1 East.
Gotcha. So everybody so far, you got him in the right order.
Got him in the right order, but now the rank that I have them at is going to start being wrong. So as we go through this and how we score it, if I say that I nailed the prediction exactly right, that means I had them in the correct order. It doesn't mean that I had them at the exact rank. Whatever. This is how we score it. It makes me look good, so that's what we're going through.
Yeah,
going with
1v1 us IRL.
Yeah,
fight us. This is our thing. We score it how we want.
Exactly. So at Maegashira 1 East, we have Daisho at a career high rank for him. He was Maegashira 3 East last time and had an 8-7 record, so a 2-spot jump for him. Nothing crazy there. Nailed it, by the way. On the west side, we have...
Well, that's just because of the naming of the ranks. Like, he really only moved up relatively one rank.
True. Yeah, it's super confusing. I'm just going to go by the numbered rank on how much they jumped and they fell. Okay. Otherwise, it's too confusing.
Yeah.
Other people that aren't as enlightened as you and I might get confused.
Yes.
So at Maegashira...
we understand it just fine. So
yeah, exactly.
I guess, we'll dumb it down.
Finally, at Maegashira 1 West, we have Okinoumi, who is jumping up 7 spots, or 6, depending on how you look at it, to the second highest Maegashira rank after being in the Yusho race to the final day last Basho. So he was at Maegashira 8, had that 11-4 record, all the way up to Maegashira 1 West. So at Maegashira East 2, or at Maegashira 2 East, whichever way you want to say it, we have a Luck of the Banzuke candidate, Miyugiryu, who had a 8-7 record at the Maegashira 6 rank and jumped up 4 spots because of it.
And that is notable because he took 3 days off.
Yeah, that actually, like it's very impressive.
Middle,
yeah,
not like at the beginning or the end.
He came back, and I'm pretty sure he had to win out to get his Kachikoshi, and he managed to do that after being hurt. So that's pretty impressive for him. Never mind, he did not have to win
quite.
out.
He went 3-2 after coming back.
Okay,
still impressive because he needed. He was on the verge of it. But yeah, it looks like on day 13 he was 1 loss away.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, impressive comeback, and I wonder if it's better or worse for your consideration for the Banzuke if you are injured and come back from it, or what? But.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll get to it later, but I think they do hold injuries against people, and maybe if you come back from an injury and do well, they might think better of you. Either way, even if he wasn't injured and came back, and he just got a regular 8-7, he still would have ended up at this spot on the Banzuke.
Yeah, I mean, because this is still just because this particular area was very hard to promote and demote people from, right?
Yes, exactly. And so on the west side of Maegashira 2, we have Meisei, another career high guy here. So Meisei jumped up from Maegashira 10 with a 10-5 record. That's an 8-spot jump for Meisei here.
Jeez.
So very, very generous jump after just a 10-5 record. So he's right back where he was last time when he got a 4-11 record from this high. So maybe not a great thing for Meisei here, but maybe he learned from last time and he'll do quite a bit better.
That's kind of funny. He got a 1 rank better jump than Okinoumi, despite getting 1 fewer wins.
It's true. I mean, it's really just based on who's in front of you and behind you. Okinoumi, there was no more room for him to jump up, really.
Yeah.
And so at Maegashira 3 on the east side, we have Takara Fuji, who is a Luck of the Banzuke candidate, because Takara Fuji jumped 5 ranks after a 9-6 record, all the way from Maegashira 9.
Jeez.
And in kind of a break from past Bashos, Maegashira 3 East to West is the breaking point for the Joy because we now have 2 more Sanyaku Rikishi. That means we have less people in the Maegashira ranks that are considered in the Joy. So the top 16 Rikishi end with Takara Fuji at Maegashira 3 East. And so we're going to move on to the mid-Banzuke section where at Maegashira 3 West we have Tomokaze, another Luck of the Banzuke candidate. Because Tomokaze had a 7-8 record from Maegashira 3 West last time, he is not moving on the Banzuke at all due to his losing record.
Again, to bring our high IQ analysis into it, by numbers, he's not getting a demotion.
Correct.
But as far as how many people are ahead of him, it's kind of like a 1-rank drop.
It really is, yeah.
So, like, as far as his strength of competition and stuff like that, that's interesting. I guess.
Yeah, he was in the Joy last time. He's not in the Joy this time.
I wonder if how strange would it be if somebody were to get a half a rank demotion in this basho, but because perhaps maybe we lose 2 of those komosubis, it becomes his career high rank by getting demoted. That would be really funny. It would be hilarious, Ryan. Laugh.
My brain's just trying to work around how that would happen.
Again, very high IQ analysis.
So, yeah, a basho after Tomokaze had a very unlucky small jump up the Banzuke after impressive Nagoya. He now has that very lucky 0 drop as he remains at the same rank he was last basho. And even luckier, if you want to look at it this way, technically, he might not need to go up. He doesn't need to go up against a full Sanyaku slate until somebody pulls out. So
I'm sure that will never happen.
Yeah, we got a couple of prime candidates with Takayasu and Takakeisho. So Tomokaze more than likely is going to end up in the Joy before the basho starts. My guess is one of those 2 probably pulls out.
Probably at least 1 Yokozuna, maybe a Tochinoshin.
Yeah, and then half of the rest of the Sanyaku ranks. But for now, he's out of the Joy. He can face lesser competition, get a nice record, and then maybe depending on how it all works out for the people ahead of him, maybe jump up into the Sanyaku ranks if he gets a decent enough record.
Yeah, because apparently everybody's Sanyaku now, so whatever.
No kidding. Tomokaze is also the first of 4 Rikishi that did not move down a numbered rank, as all 4 Rikishi that had a 7-8 record stayed in the same spot on the Banzuke. Oh, and Tomokaze was actually Takara Fuji was my first miss on this prediction, because I had Takara Fuji back a couple of spots, and it's all weird because of how I thought the numbered ranks would be. It's weird. Whatever. I missed Takara Fuji and Tomokaze. Takara Fuji by a full rank and Tomokaze by 1 rank, despite me predicting that Tomokaze was going to be Maegashira 3 West and him ending up at Maegashira 3 West. I still missed it. Weird.
Oh.
And
that's dumb.
Another person that's identical to Tomokaze, where I predicted him to be Maegashira 4 East. He ended up Maegashira 4 East, but I missed him because I was off on the actual order of how things ended up. That is Tamawashi, another Luck of the Banzuke candidate, because he's another one that had a 7-8 record and did not move down the Banzuke at all. And on the west side, joining him, another Luck of the Banzuke candidate, as we have so many up here at the front, we have Jake's favorite, Kotoyuki.
That rat bastard.
Kotoyuki got the same treatment as Takara Fuji, jumping up 5 ranks with a 9-6 record. Moving on to Maegashira 5, we have Aoyama dropping down 4 ranks after going, 5-10 from Maegashira 1? Yep. And then we have Ryuden on the west side of the Maegashira 5 rank, and he is the 3rd Rikishi that had a 7-8 record and did not drop at all in the rankings.
I think I may have said the thing backwards when I was trying to make my real smart joke earlier.
Is that why my brain broke?
Probably. By adding 2 komusubi, they have to move all those guys with 7 and 8 records. They had to move them down 2 spots relatively. Otherwise, they would be giving them a promotion for a losing record by numbers.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So even higher IQ analysis now.
Yeah, that's why now I'm on the same page as you, because we're at a higher level of IQ.
I caught up finally.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hope our fans can do the same.
They've turned this off so long ago.
I hope so.
At Maegashira 6 on the east side, we have Onosho. And on the west side, we have Enho. Both of these guys were given luck of the Banzuke candidates because both of these guys jumped 5 ranks after a 9-6 record, all the way up from Maegashira 11. And Enho is at his career high and is probably in for a very rude awakening at the Maegashira 6 rank.
Yeah, this may be a career high, whether we're looking at it today or 20 years from now.
We'll see. I have faith in the little guy. Maybe not this time, but next time.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. Speaking of career highs, at Maegashira 7 on the east side, we have Tsurugisho, who is at Maegashira 7 East. And on the west side, we have Kotoeko, who is our last guy that had a 7-8 record and did not drop down the Banzuke. Tsurugisho jumps up 7 ranks after a 10-5 ranking, as he was Maegashira 14 last time and earned himself a special prize. Also, I forgot to mention, but starting with Kotoyuki at Maegashira 4 West, we're going to go on quite a long perfect prediction streak for me, as I guess Kotoyuki at Maegashira 4 West all the way through, I think, Maegashira 10. I guess all of those the correct order. Not ranking, order. That's what we care about here on this podcast.
That's some good horn tooting you're doing right there. I like it.
If nobody else is going to do it for me, Jake.
You're absolutely correct.
At Maegashira 8 on the east side, we have the Who Cares pair of Shohozan and Sadanoumi. And at Maegashira 9 on the east side, we have Kodo Shogiku. And on the west side, we have Yutakayama. Yutakayama getting a 6-rank jump after a 10-5 record from Maegashira 16.
I just scanned through this. You're right. That is the Who Cares pair, for you at least.
Yeah.
That is the only rank where you have 0 notes. You have more notes for like Megashira 15, Daishomaru, Daishoho than you do for Shohozan and Sadanoumi.
That might be like one of the only like spots where it makes sense, like kind of where they ended up, and also it's Shohozan and Sadanoumi, so who cares?
I mean, I care about Shohozan, but yeah, but I don't really care about Sadanoumi.
Sadanoumi is so much don't care about him that he sucks away the little bit of care you have about Shohozan.
Oh man, he's like Takara Fuji Prime.
Ooh, yeah. Takara Fuji's another one just cannot care about. I think Fleric actually hates the guy though, so.
Okay, so 1 out of the 4 of us have an opinion on Takara Fuji. I take it back. I do have one opinion on Takara Fuji.
Which is?
Below the waist.
Turtle?
Below the waist, he is
beautiful.
Ripped. Oh my god, he's got like I bet his buns are, you could like, something about them being very hard.
Yeah.
I ran out of joke, but...
Great analogy. It's the chili brain.
It's the chili brain. My digestive system's using up all of my blood right now. But no, he is absolutely ripped on the legs and on the tuchus there.
I was going to make a joke about
And that's the end of my feelings on Takara Fuji.
Thinking about Takara Fuji's lower body is making all the blood be used by another part of my body, but we're above that kind of joke.
I don't even understand it.
Good. Maegashira 10 on the east side, we have Shimano-umi, and on the west side, we have Shodai. So this is where we're going to start to drop off the high-ranked Maegashira that had just terrible records in Aki, as Shimano-umi is down 4 ranks after a 5-10 record, and Shodai is down 6 after a 3-12 record, and somewhere Fleric is laughing maniacally at Shodai's misfortune. As I believe this is the worst ranking for Shodai in quite some time. Jake, do a little bit of research for me there. As I move on to Maegashira 11, on the east side, we have another Luck of the Banzuke candidate in Ishiura.
Almost 4 years since he was in double-digit Megashira ranks.
Wow, that's an even better run than I thought.
Yeah, January of 2016. Since then, he's been all the way up to Sekiwake once, but dang.
Oh, good job, Shodai. But as I mentioned, on the east side of Maegashira 11, we have Ishiura, who had an 8-7 record and jumped up 4 ranks, much like Miyogiryu, after just an 8-7 record, so very lucky for him. And on the west side, we have Chiyo Tairyu, who fell 6 ranks after a 2-11 record. And you kind of expect a larger drop for somebody that had a 2-11 record than just 6 ranks. Yeah, that one. I don't know why I had 11 written down. Unfortunately, at the prediction of Ishiura at Maegashira 11 East, that ends my 13 rikishi perfect streak.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible for me.
Heartbreaking.
I missed Ishiura by 1 full rank.
Just the worst.
But I nailed Chiyo Tairyu, if anybody's counting and cares. Me.
You are.
Yes. So at Maegashira 12 East, we have a snub of the Banzuke candidate in Ichinojo, also missed him by a full rank. And we also have Takanosho, who is at a career high. Nailed that perfectly. So why is Ichinojo a snub of the Banzuke candidate? He dropped pretty far for a guy that was a high-ranked Maegashira and had a 1-14 record.
I bet you're going to tell us.
I sure am, Jake. So Ichinojo is down 10 ranks after a 1-14 performance from Maegashira 2. I have a slight issue with him being behind Chiyo Tairyu, as Ichinojo had only one less win than Chiyo, but was 3 ranks ahead of him, as Chiyo Tairyu was a Maegashira 5. So Chiyo Tairyu with a 2-11 record
2-13.
dropped 2-13 record, dropped 6 ranks when Ichinojo dropped 10 ranks.
But Ichinojo was absent for a good part of the Basho.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
If you,
I'll just shut up then.
God, that was such a Mac thing right there.
But Ryan, did you know that Ichinojo was absent for most of the Basho?
I'm getting to that.
Oh.
If you switch Ichinojo and Chiyo Tairyu in the ranks that they ended up at, so make Ichinojo Maegashira 11 West and Chiyo Tairyu Maegashira 12 East, then Chiyo Tairyu gets a 7 rank drop with a 2-11 record, and Ichinojo gets a 9 rank drop with a 1-14 record. You're still punishing Ichinojo more than Chiyo Tairyu for having that losing record, but it's not such a significant gap between their punishments for no real reason. Okay. And so the only thing that I can think of is that they're punishing Ichinojo for like separating his freaking shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, you're really supposed to keep them together and not separated.
But yeah, so that might seem like a very weak reason to have a snub of the Banzuke candidate, and you're right, it is. I was digging deep to find some snubs, and so that's what we end up with.
We can't go a podcast without awards, so we needed to find somebody.
Stupid, pointless awards are like my favorite thing. Have you not been paying attention?
I'm obviously mocking you because, yes, I know that's your thing.
And Takanosho at Maegashira 12 West. He is back in Makuuchi after being in Juryo since Kyushu of last year. This will be his highest ranking and his 3rd overall basho in the Makuuchi division. At Maegashira 13, on the east side, we have Chiyomaru back at it again. And on the west side, we have Kagayaki, who is going to get another Luck of the Banzuke candidate. We'll get to him in a moment. But Chiyomaru, back in Makuuchi again. This will be his 3rd basho in Makuuchi this year, and his other 3 spent down in Juryo. So he's been jumping back and forth this entire year and has split his time evenly between the 2 divisions. And Kagayaki, why is he a Luck of the Banzuke candidate? He had a 6-9 record from Maegashira 13 East and only fell to Maegashira 13 West. And so kind of makes sense once you think about what Jake said before. They kind of just... He really is dropping 3 ranks and not just the 1 rank. But because we're basing this off of the numbered ranks, it's kind of conflicting because we care about the order in what they are when we're scoring me. But when we're scoring them and like how far they're going up and down the Banzuke, we're using the numbered ranks.
You're just a hack and fraud.
We're using double standards here, but since we're upfront about it, it's okay.
Yeah, as long as we're out in the open and not doing anything conspiracy-wise.
Exactly. Could this be a more confusing episode of Banzuke-related matters?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I'm doing my best to muddy the waters.
At Maegashira 14 East, we have Terutsuyoshi, and on the west side, we have another huge reach for snub of the Banzuke candidate in Nishikigi. So why is Nishikigi a snub of the Banzuke candidate?
I don't know.
I'll tell you, Jake. It's because I'm not sure why it was so damn important to split up the Maegashira 13 pair of Kagayaki and Nishikigi that both went 6-9. Kagayaki dropped a half rank, and Nishikigi had to drop a full rank because for some reason they inserted Terutsuyoshi between them. Terutsuyoshi would have been perfectly fine ranked behind Nishikigi after Terutsuyoshi had a 4-11 record from Maegashira 9. So my only guess is that they didn't want 2 guys to drop a half rank with a 6-9 record, but they also didn't want to only drop Terutsuyoshi 4 ranks to Maegashira 13 East so that he would be ahead of Kagayaki, and so that we're not like not moving Kagayaki at all or whatever.
I think I need a diagram for this one.
And so they just kind of fit Terutsuyoshi right in the middle of Kagayaki and Nishikigi. Doesn't make sense to me. Once again, this is like the biggest reach for a snub of the Banzuke candidate, but damn it, I need to have at least 3 on every basho based on my own rules that I implemented on myself. All right, Maegashira 15 on the east side. We have Daisho Maru back from the Juryo ranks. And on the west side, we have Daishoho. By the way, I've been getting most of these predictions exactly correct. I've had a couple of guys off by a half rank in the order, but most of these have been correct.
And just a reminder here, Ryan included more notes for Daisho Maru and Daishoho at Maegashira 15 than he did for veterans Shohozan and Sadanoumi.
Okay, Jake, what flavor text would you like to add for Shohozan and Sadanoumi being ranked at Maegashira 8?
Shohozan has been both higher and lower than this rank in his career. Same goes for Sadanoumi, and they both are wrestlers from Japan who are going to... Yeah, all right, point made.
Enlightening.
I had that going for a little while.
All right, let's get back to Daisho Maru.
Good.
Who is back in the Makuuchi division after being in Juryo for the past 4 basho. So for all you Daisho Maru stans, he's back, baby.
Just like Takara Fuji, I have one opinion on Daisho Maru, and I think he is the most fish-like.
I disagree. Mitake Yumi.
Mitake Yumi's in the running, but Daisho Maru, I think, has to be my pick.
All right, that's fair.
The fishiest rikishi.
We'll do a full bonus episode on which rikishi look like fish.
I have a lot of material on this one.
So at Maegashira 16, on the east side, the only side of Maegashira 16, the coolest side of Maegashira 16, we have Wakataka Kage making his Makuuchi debut, getting his career high, and passing Asanoyama for the best/most fun to say Shikona in the top division of sumo wrestling. Let's give it up for Wakataka Kage.
I mean, I don't want to clap on a podcast. I don't think that would come well over the audio, but what should we do for him?
Good on you, Wakataka Kage, for having the top Shikona in all of the upper divisions.
Yeah, there we go. Good on you.
Do you have any opinions on cool Shikonas in the top division? I know we were talking about Ichi Yamamoto. Once he gets up there, it's going to be a pretty close race between him and Wakataka Kage.
That's going to tighten up the ranks quite a little bit. Honestly, I think most of my opinions on the Shikona are tied to my opinions of the guy.
Takeyasu's a cool guy, not the greatest of Shikona, Jake.
Well, I think his is cool because it is his own name.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
That is not a stage name. He's one of those guys that could very well go his entire career without taking one on.
Okay.
I do like short ones. I think Endo, Shodai. I think partly because I was, as an early fan, those are the easiest ones to remember.
Makes sense. I like the long, complicated ones, like Wakataka Kage and Ichi Yamamoto.
What about Ichi Yamamoto? Yeah, good point.
All right. Since we had 4 guys jump up from the Juryo division, those being Wakataka Kage, Daisho Maru, Takanosho, and Chiyo Maru.
Any excuse.
Any excuse to say Wakataka Kage, I'm going to take to say Wakataka Kage.
Yeah. Wakataka Kage, it's a fun one to say.
So because we had those 4 guys jump up to the Makuuchi division, that unfortunately means we had 4 guys drop down to the Juryo division. Jake, without looking, those are...
I already looked. I mean, I'm not going to... I can't unlook.
Fine. It's Toyonoshima Tochiozan, who's going down to Juryo for the first time in a very long time. Jake, do some research.
I'll do some research.
We have Azumaryu, who was a basho Makuuchi kind of guy, back down to Juryo, and Takagenji, who's saying goodbye after 2 bashos in Makuuchi.
2007.
That's a long time, Tochiozan.
I'm not sure I've been alive that long. Oh, my God.
Jake, do some research into your birth record.
I'll do my best. Seeing as I turned 30 recently, I think I may need to rerun my numbers.
So let's check out at how I did overall. You might have been hearing me boasting about how I nailed a lot of these predictions. That's because I got 33 out of a possible 42 exactly right in the correct order, not the right ranking. Cannot emphasize that enough.
Sorry, I was on my phone again. Is that good?
Yeah, that's 79%, and that's the best I've ever done by far as getting exact predictions. Typically, we go through and predict or say how I did as far as getting guys at the correct numbered rank, but on the wrong east/west side. Because this Banzuke is all messed up and I had... we're not going to bother with that. So we're just going to say people that I was only off by a half rank, 39 out of 42. That's 93%.
Dang.
That's pretty damn good, and needless to say, that's my new best for ordering the rikishi, not saying what rank they're going to be. So
you should include that disclaimer even more often. I think that would really help the quality of our podcasting.
Just really want people to know how messed up everything got, because
Messed up, y'all.
I only predicted 3 komusubi and not 4. It ruins everything. Just make things more standard and normal, Banzuke committee.
It turns out that means that even though you got the order right on a lot of these, that does mean that you're a bit off on the actual numbered ranking.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's
okay.
what that usually does.
All right, that makes sense. So my total misses and just like the total of how far off I had, guys, on things that I was wrong on, I don't think I could have said that in a worse way.
I thought I knew what you meant. Now I don't. Your total number of ranks off, like the sum of every error that Ryan had, was only 12.
Yes.
That is by far the best.
Yes. My average error per rikishi was off by 0.286 ranks.
Compared to like 0.6 something for your second best ever.
Yes, which was the last Basho. And so I have now...
0.619.
Booyaka, booyaka?
619.
All right. All
right, pro wrestling cred established. We can move on now.
So I have now reached like one of my first initial goals that I set for myself. I wanted to get a prediction where I was off by less than half a rank, and I've done that. So I now need to set another.
Now you need to retire.
This has been the worst and last episode of Banzuke Review.
I could have told you already it was the worst.
So my worst overall guess, that's something I like to track. My worst one that I've ever had was off by 8 ranks.
Terrible.
So this time, we had 3 guys tie for my worst guess. Takara Fuji, Ishiura, and Ichinojo, all just off by 2 ranks or just 1 full numbered rank. That's pretty damn good, I think.
I could do better if I tried.
Screw you.
Which is why I'll never try.
Yeah. So just looking at the Banzuke as a whole, the extremes on this one, the biggest jump we had was Meisei with an 8 ranked jump from Maegashira 10 to 2. And then we also had Okinoumi and Tsurugisho both get 7 ranked jumps. The biggest drops that we had, Ichinojo by far had the biggest drop with a 10 ranked drop. And then behind him was Shodai and Chiyotairyu with 6 ranked drops. We have 7 guys that will be at their career high. That includes Asanoyama, Daieisho, Wakataka Kage, Enho, Tsurugisho, Meisei. I think that's all of them. I was trying to do them all by memory. Was not going to happen.
I'm legitimately pretty impressed at that, though. That was pretty good.
And we also have one guy making his Sanyaku debut in Asanoyama, and we also have a guy making his Makuuchi debut in Wakataka Kage.
And interesting fun fact on this one, there are 0 rikishi going into this tournament at their career lowest rank in the entire top division.
Shut up. So, Jake, you have a note on here about how Sanyaku is spelled.
Yeah, this is the most recent cause that I'm going to be taking to the streets for. But anytime the term Sanyaku is written in English, it tends to be SAN''YAKU. I don't know why that apostrophe is in there. So,
what are they leaving out? What aren't they telling us about Sanyaku?
Yeah, usually an apostrophe would mean either we're leaving out a letter or something like that, or perhaps it has like the tsu sound in Japanese where you kind of have like I can't remember what that's called, like a glottal stop or something. Like
sure.
It's a specific sound where you kind of like pause the word for like a split second. But you don't do that there. It's just Sanyaku. There's no pause. There's no extra letters that we're leaving out or anything.
Unless we're bad at Japanese, and they're supposed to be.
I looked this one up on gshow.org, and that's where I usually go if I'm looking for like proper pronunciations or proper kanji for things. It didn't look like there's any extra letters there. I don't know what's going on. So unless somebody can help me out and prove me wrong, I will be marching in the streets over this to protest that apostrophe that makes no sense.
Maybe it's something like because we also have apostrophe in words that are possessive, so maybe it's something similar to that.
Yes,
that we
it's
just
the
don't...
yaku that belongs to san. No, that doesn't make sense either.
Whatever.
Stop it. You're confusing me more.
We'll take to Twitter and say the wrong thing, and then everybody will tell us exactly why there's an apostrophe in Sanyaku.
I would legitimately love to know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get back to you guys someday. Getting on to the awards that absolutely must happen at the end of every Banzuke review. We have the first one, the snub of the Banzuke. We had candidates Abi, Ichinojo, and Nishikigi, and in a very weak field, probably the weakest field for snub of the Banzuke you're ever going to see, we're going to go with Ichinojo because they're being mean to him for getting hurt, which, stop being dicks, you guys.
I mean, that's speculation, but I can't think of a different reason. I don't know.
There's concrete evidence. I heard
Ryan has memos from the Banzuke.
I have intercepted memos, translated them using Google Translate, and we all know how reliable they are, saying Ichinojo got injured, let's screw him over.
Yep. Okay.
And in a very strong field for Luck of the Banzuke, as weak as the snub of the Banzuke field was, we were just overflowing with Luck of the Banzuke candidates. So the candidates are all the 7 and 8 rikishi that didn't move instead of being dropped rankings, all the 9 and 6 rikishi with a 5 rank jump, of which there were 4. There were 4 rikishi that had a 9 and 6 record with a 5 rank jump. Takara Fuji, Kodayuki, Onosho, Enho.
That's too many numbers in rapid fire for me. I get it now, though.
All the 8 and 7 rikishi, both of them that had a 4 rank jump, which are Miyogiryu and Ishiura, and also Kageyaki.
Okay.
I
guess he's there too.
Yeah. So we're going to award that to all 4 rikishi that had a 9 and 6 record that jumped 5 ranks.
That is nuts.
Except maybe Takara Fuji, because he's getting thrown into the Joy, so he's going to face a full slate of Sanyaku rikishi.
Yeah,
so maybe not so lucky for him. But for Kodayuki, Onosho, and Enho.
And for hopefully the last time, bringing in this disclaimer, that's technically relative to the division, a 4 rank jump, which is still
pretty good for a 9 and 6.
Which I think, I mean, that by all means, that still deserves like whatever prestige our award gives.
Yeah.
But like, they're jumping up 8 slots essentially for a 9 and 6 record, and that's silly.
And to answer your unasked question, the most prestige is what our award gives.
I thought that was implied.
Okay. And we have to follow up on Jake predicted what my worst guess was going to be in the Banzuke prediction episode. He thought that Onosho jumping up 5 ranks was just unfathomable. Wouldn't happen. Can't happen. And Jake was wrong. I nailed that prediction. Screw you, Jake. Suck it. You're the worst. I hate you.
But he was one of those guys that got such a big jump that he earned a Luck of the Banzuke award.
Nope, no sugarcoating it. You suck.
I sugarcoat what I want.
I hate you. Everybody else hates you. So if you hate Jake, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
We got all them social medias. We got that one blog.
We've got an email, grandsumo@gmail.com. Use that if you have any comments, questions, or corrections. Or instead, you can leave us a voicemail at 805-613-7866. That is 805-613-SUMO.
We're getting even more used car commercial on that every time we do it.
I love used car commercials. I hate used car commercials. They're burned into my brain, so I want to inflict that pain onto everybody else.
Yeah, okay.
So the preview, as we said before, look for that to come out in about a week's time. You'll get your usual dose of Fleric and Mac if you're tired of listening to Jake and I prattle on. And also, the Basho is going to start Sunday, November 10th.
I could use a dose.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.
So quit playing with your batteries.
No.
Hey, son, quit playing with your dinghy.